in the pits. It looks like they're going 4 wide to 5 wide, but they're side by side. Connor is sideways, absolutely sideways in the last few corners. Oh, but he's up in the gravel and he spins. Rob has made a bit of a dive. It actually hits teammate Craig, and so they've all got stuck in the gravel. And Joe gets the switch back. That's fantastic racing. Look at that. Contact, but it's Robbins Racing. Joe McCall takes his first ever win just ahead of Connor. A fantastic race. He's going to take 6th, or is it? Oh, he just gets him. And is Darren going to take it? No, he doesn't. Mark Nichol takes the race. Josh is the Independence champion for Season 3. Craig Kellett is your Season 3 winner and champion. The reverse grid draw happened then for race 3 here at Autopolis, with the numbers 6 to 10 randomly drawn to pick who goes onto pole position, and the number 7 was drawn out, which puts Craig Kellett on pole position in the Elite Racing Ford Mustang next to Joe Burrows in the HP Motorsports Hyundai Genesis. Row 2 is Kieran Thomas in the KTTC Racing Renault Megane next to Harry Cook in the Team Redeem Mazda Atenza. Row 3 is Darren Parker in the second of the Team Redeem Mazda Atenzas next to Mike Comer in the MCR Storm VW Scirocco. Row 4 is Mike Kuipers in the second of the VW Scirocco's, but for K&N Fox Racing, next to Tom Foster in the KTTC Racing Renault Megane. And on the back row of the grid, we've got Rob Pellet in the second of the Elite Racing Ford Mustangs, and Heathy in his HP Motorsports Hyundai Genesis. Okay, here we go then. It's race 3 for Autopolis, the final race of the day, and away they go. And it's a decent start for Craig Kellett in the Ford Mustang, and also Joe Burrows in the Hyundai Genesis, but everyone else behind gets away cleanly, and Craig goes into the first corner pretty easily, and everyone gets through, including Heathy for the first time in the Hyundai Genesis. And already a dive from Joe Burrows into the next right-hander. And that's Harry Cook. Oh, Harry comes back on the circuit and goes straight to Rob. So Rob's off on the grass, and things don't get any better for Rob at Autopolis here in round 3, the race 3, sorry. And so Joe Burrows is putting Craig under real pressure here right at the start of the race. A fantastic looking backdrop with the sunset. So it's still Craig first, Joe's second, Kieran third. Kieran's had a good event here at Autopolis, continued at the front, and on the other end of the spectrum, Tom has struggled in the KTTC Renault Megane. So Rob's got to catch up a bit. We've got Mike Kuipers making a dive on the inside of Heathy here, and Heathy says no to it and defends really well and stays in 5th. So Heathy looks a lot more stable in this race after a terrible first couple of races. And there's a battle just further behind where Harry slightly went off earlier, between Harry, Mike and Tom. So Mike Comer and Harry have been going side by for a lot of the races here over the event, and the two of them continue to race together, and there's a slight push off there. That's Mike Comer, he's in the grass, and oh my god, he nearly goes into Tom. So Mike drops off down to 9th, and Rob could catch up here. Stewards may well look at that, and that was a bit robust there from Harry. So again, back on board with Joe Burrows, and he is right behind Craig. Craig is not running away with it, and Joe Burrows is showing some real strength here. His results have not shown it after a couple of offs, so he really wants to redeem himself with a good result. Kieran, look at the speed Kieran's got. He's really on it here, and he's catching up to the two leaders, possibly because they might be a bit slower after Craig defends really hard, but Kieran joins up to make it a three-way for the lead of the race. Darren's not too far behind as well. Stephen Heath still in fifth. Mike Kuiper's really pushing him now. There's a bit of a push to pass there, and Heath is really not having any of it. And so Tom is part of this as well, with Harry, Heathy and Mike. And Mike Comer and Rob at the back potentially could meet up. Oh, Heathy gets a bit sideways there. Back up the front then. Let's go on board with Kieran. Onto lap 4. Down into the first blind right-hander, and Joe Burrows has got an overlap, and he's got a good chance here to get past as Craig runs slightly wide. Joe gets a much more tighter line, and he takes the lead of the race, but can he hold it this time? This is great racing from Joe, and really determined to take that first win for the Hyundai this season, and HB at least. And Craig is putting the pressure back on. Bit of a tap, and they're side by side. Joe's got the inside for this long sweeping left-hander, and Kieran is part of it as well. So Kieran right up there now, and could get past Craig. So Craig is looking forward and backwards, but Craig is on the inside. God, Kieran wants to slot in the middle, but he can't quite do it, and he's gone on the inside there. There's three, so they're three wide, so three of them coming down the straight then. Look at this, is incredible. They're all just about jostling for position, and they're holding tight as the three of them go down the straight. Who is going to become king and take the lead of this race? Oh, Joe wants to take that ultra tight line, but actually has to settle for third as Kieran and Craig go for the lead now. And Kieran still on the inside. Craig is on the inside now. Oh, but he has to slot in behind. So Kieran takes the lead of this race, and Craig is still in second. Oh, he was going to make another dive, but it's a five-way for the for the lead of this race. As now we've got Darren and we've got Mike Kuipers, who are really close. Joe Burrows again going for that dive on the inside. Pushes Craig slightly wide. Oh, Craig is off. Craig is off in the grass as he tries to regain control. And Craig, well, pushed down. So I don't think it was necessarily Joe's fault. He was just kind of slightly pushing him, but it wasn't anything drastic. So Joe Burrows up to second, and is now looking to take that lead back again as Kieran continues to comfortably lead this race. But oh no, Joe is in the grass again, but somehow he gains control. Mike Kuiper's back up into the podium position after winning the second race. Could he take another win here? Darren, who has had 2 thirds and hasn't really been anywhere to push for the wins here just yet. And Mike Kuiper's loses third now to Darren, so Darren's on his way to potentially getting a better position than just third, as Joe Burrows is slow. Why is Joe is really slow somewhere? He must have made a mistake. The two Mazdas come together, and Darren goes up on the inside, but Joe gets the cut back and stays in second. And the three of them here are having a great race for the podium positions. Find the interior. There it is, the internal camera for Mike Kuipers as he goes down into turn 1, and he gets second position with Joe on the outside. So the two Mazdas again coming together, two separate teams but the same car. Oh, they're not, sorry, not Mazdas. There's one a Hyundai and one Mazda. I'm getting it wrong. It's only just because Joe had a Mazda when he first started. And this is close as well between Craig and Mike Comer here, with Heafy, who's dropped down to 7th. Tom is in 8th, and Harry Cook is in 9th. So Harry is struggling here again in race 3 after having a better result in race 2. Fortunately, Rob is just at the back again. He's just not had the luck. Joined in late with race 2, missed race 1, and spun in race 2. It's just unbelievable luck for Rob. But looking back up at the lead on lap 8, and Darren has slightly lost the distance here with Joe. He's still on his tail, but not quite as close as he was before, so Joe's slightly a bit more comfortable now and is on his way to go up to Mike. But Darren actually catches back up as Joe runs wide there, and so the two of them come together. Craig is now still in 5th, and got that lag again from Mike Kuipers. And Heafy is off, just about regains control, and he slots in behind Tom. So Heafy's dropping down to 8th. With a good start, he was in 5th and held well, but he's just unfortunately not being able to hold on. So Mike Comer here is looking to put the pressure on Craig as we go down into turn 1 again for lap 9. And Darren is still trying to get past Joe. He's gone on the inside, a little bit of a push, and it was a good overtake from Darren into 3rd. So Joe drops down another position. Mike and Kieran are quite a way ahead now, and Mike is on his way to try and catch up with Kieran and snatch that first position away from him. Meanwhile, there's lots of action going down mid-pack, and Mike, Comer, Craig, Tom still going strong here. That lag still happening for Mike as well. And Tom looking like he wants to get up on the inside of Mike, but not at the moment. Things are settled again here. There's not much overtaking going on. There's Darren and Joe still together. Craig is now not got Mike Comer so much on his backside, as Tom is putting Mike under pressure. Behind we've got Heafy and Harry getting together, and so they're fighting for 8th position. It's a few points, but every point counts. Stephen Heath is struggling to keep the car in a straight line, and in trying to get it back on the tarmac, Harry nearly makes big contact, but luckily it was just a little bit, and the two of them still going for 8th position. This is tightened up a bit here between Tom and Mike and Craig. Tom takes that tighter line again, but slower on the exit. And the lead of the race is now between Mike and Kieran, and Mike has caught up quickly with Kieran, so he's really putting him under pressure, and so Kieran has just got to keep his eyes forward, and but keeping an eye on Mike at the same time. And Mike gets a pass here. He gets he slows down. I wonder if he felt that was not legitimate and a bit too forceful so slows behind them. So Kieran goes back up ahead, so Mike is going to have another go. He's on the outside for this next right-hander. Goes for the tighter line, gets the undercut. Oh, more contact. Mike is really pressurising and really pushing Kieran here. Kieran is going to hold on for dear life for that lead. Darren has got more comfortable in the lead. Craig, Mike and Tom still racing really closely here, and it's not changed. Mike looking on the outside of Craig. He's going to try the same as potentially Mike Kuipers did. Go for the inside, but it doesn't work. So Craig's still holding on to 5th, and he needs it because Darren is still scoring more points, and Craig is losing that lead even more so with some poor results like this. And Craig has found it more difficult this season with BOP introduced, and with the Mustang Darren has showed some real strengths in the Mazda, so Craig is close to losing the title with just 3 rounds left after Autopolis. Things are going to look very interesting towards the end of the season for Darren and Craig. But up at the front then, Mike Kuipers is trying again to get past Kieran, but the laps are running out as they go on to lap 13. He's really close, but still unable to make the move. I think Mike Comer has gone up on the inside of Craig, so he could get the overtake done here, but he doesn't. He's still not able to get past that Mustang. And look how close they are, these three. Oh, Tom's having a look on Mike on the inside. There's a bit of a push there, but they're side by side as they come into the next corner. Tom's on the outside, but I was going to say he might get the job done, but yes, he does. Tom's up to 6th then. Craig still in 5th. Joe Burrows now a lot closer to Darren, so either Joe's done really well or Darren's fallen off a bit. So Darren is under threat for that podium position, and Joe's got some good grunt in that high and eye, so down the straight they go. Kieran and Mike still fighting for first. And it's not to be for Joe, but Mike Kuipers is leading this race now. And so Kieran's got a bit of work to do. Look at how Mike has just run away since he leads the race. Mike is so quick in that VW Scirocco. So where is Craig? So Craig has really dropped off, and this is more dramatic news for Craig Kellett as he's dropped down to 7th. We didn't see what happened to him, but this is not good news for him. We can have a look and find out with a replay for you to see what happened to Craig then, and find out what happened. Oh, he went off himself. He went too wide into turn 1 and he's gone into the gravel. So big mistake from Craig there. So Tom is up to 5th, and after Craig loses out, and Mike gets promoted up to 6th, and Joe Burrow still on the back here of Darren. And Darren really struggling, and to stay ahead of Mike, ahead of Joe. So our leaders here then, Mike Kuipers still leading, and yes, he's gapped Kieran a fair bit, but he hasn't really shot off in the distance, so Kieran still's got an opportunity here to try and snatch that win back away from Mike if he can hold on. I think Kieran will be happy with the results here at Autopolis. It might not be a win if he doesn't get that, but he's had a set of really good results. Darren's just slightly got away from Joe now, and Tom is still fighting with Mike Comer. Further back, there's a race here between Stephen Heath and Rob Pellet. So Rob's finally got some action. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Harry's not too far up ahead as well, so Harry's having a nightmare. Heath, on the grass. Where's he going? Oh, he nearly goes into Rob. And the two continue to battle it out just for 9th position. Onto the final lap then. And Kieran's got past Mike for the lead of the race. So Kieran is now winning, and I didn't know if it was going to happen because Mike looked comfortable but must have made a mistake somewhere. So Kieran now in the lead, and on the final lap it looks like it's going to be Kieran who's going to take that win, and Mike will be annoyed with himself after potentially nearly getting a second win in one event which had been strong for him in the points. But unfortunately it's not to be, and Kieran keeps that lead and he takes the win for race 3. So Kieran Thomas takes Autopolis race 3, Mike is second, Darren is third, Joe Burrows fourth, Tom is fifth, Mike Kakoma comes away with sixth. Craig is a disappointing seventh, so he's got some work to do after this event here. Harry 8th, Heathy 9th, and Rob finishes at the back. Kieran Thomas wins the final race of the day then, with Mike Kuipers in second, Darren Parker was third with Joe Burrows in fourth, Todd Foster was in fifth with Mike Comer in sixth, Craig in seventh, Harry in eighth, Heathy in ninth, and Rob finishes at the back. Coming away from Autopolis then, Darren Parker still leads with 294, Craig Kelly is on 277 and so has a fair bit to catch up. Kieran jumps up to third after his win in a third race, 246, just 4 points ahead of Tom, with Harry only 1 point behind Tom as well. Mike Comer is in 6th, 221, Mike Kuipers 213 with Gary Black on 195. Further down we've got Joe Burrows, Rob and Heathy 9th, 10th and 11th, and the rest are further down. In the teams then, Team Redeem is still leading with 525, K-Tech a little bit catching with 480 but still a fair bit behind. Elite Racing now are joint in third with MCR Storm with 410, Canon, K&N Fox Racing a fair bit behind on 299, HB Motorsports 251 with Team Snap-on still on 109. In the Rookie Cup then, Harry Cook still continues to lead by some distance, Mike Comer is in second with 275 and Rob is in third with 267, just 6 points ahead of Gary Black, who of course didn't race at Autopolis.